I have 100,000 followers on TikTok and 70,000 followers on Instagram. And in this video, I'm gonna give you my framework to crush it on social media as a barber. Let's get straight into the content. Let me introduce you to my 6 P's framework. But before we start, I wanna get you thinking for a second, okay? When's the last time you watched a good movie? Every movie has a main character, right? Or a hero. But during that movie, whatever movie it is that you're thinking about, they come up against some type of dilemma, right? Some type of problem. And then they have to come up with some solution or some product they have to get to stop the world from ending or something like that. Y'all follow me now, right? So they have to do that, and then they spend the whole movie trying to conquer, right, that issue. Once they conquer that issue, then guess what? Now they become the hero of the entire movie, and then we have some type of closing or ending or some type of thing that sends it off or sends it to the next one in the series, right? Every movie has that same type of framework, and your social media, right, content that you're gonna use for barbering aspect is gonna follow that same type of script. But I wanna give you my 6 P's framework on how we're gonna get that done. This is gonna be amazing, I can't wait. Step 1, the first thing we're gonna do is just like the movie, but the main character is not you. It's the customer, right? That customer is coming to you to get a haircut, and they have a dilemma, which we call, in this P's framework, the problem. Let's start thinking about problems, right? When a person needs a haircut and they go to the barbershop, I know what you're probably thinking, well, Stamm, the problem is they need a haircut. Yes, but no, right? They always need a haircut, right? That's not always a problem, but they may be encountering some problems when they go to get a haircut, like nowhere to park at the barbershop, barber's never available, it's never on time, just to name a few, right? Or push my hairline back, messed my haircut up, one side was uneven versus the other side, right? These are some of the problems that they encounter when they come to the barbershop, right? The more of these you can figure out and the more of these you can understand, the better you are going to be with creating content. Now, how do you find out what the problems are, right? You talk to people who get a haircut, which is almost every damn person you see, right? They have been to the barbershop at one time or another in their life. Ask them what they like, what they don't like, right? So that's how you identify a problem. Right now, I want you to go get a piece of paper, right? And I want you to write down 10 potential problems that have nothing to do with the haircut that a client may encounter when going to get a haircut, all right? Now, step 2, this is your product, right? Now, your product is your service as if you're a barber, right? It's your service. What makes your service so unique and different than somebody else? What are you doing that is different, right? Now, what I want you to do is, I don't want you to say, oh, it's because I'm the best barber, I'm nicer than so-and-so. That may be the case sometimes, right? You may be lit like that. You really may be. But every barber says the same thing, so how are you gonna stand out, right? You need to do something differently. Now, I'll take you back to when I first got to Atlanta. I was new to the city, right? When I was in a barbershop, I was cutting. I thought I was the best guy. Was I the best guy? Probably not. But you know what I did different than everybody else? I shampooed every client. That was something we did up in the Philadelphia area, tri-state area where I'm from. I came to the South, people weren't doing that 15, 16 years ago. So I shampooed every client before I cut them. It gave a crispy cut, but it also was something unique about what I did, right? We were all given haircuts, but my haircut came with a shampoo. Seems small, but it made a major difference, especially in how the cut turned out, right? So that was just some form of a problem that I solved with the service. And here's what I learned about that. Everybody was like, I never had my hair shampooed before. I never had this done before. This is different, right? It was something different. It was like they felt like this solved their problem. They got the best haircut ever, right? And it was something they could go brag about. So that, just on a small sample size, was something different about my product that still solved their problem. The third thing is your target market. This is what we call your person. So what we need to do is study for a little bit who we actually are trying to attract. Are you trying to attract business professionals, right? I want you to write down 5 to 10 things you know about the businessman. Let's say you're trying to attract the athlete. Write down 10 things that the athlete needs, right? if you're trying to attract kids, right? Maybe you tailor your business to cutting kids, right? So whatever it is, I want you to write down 5 to 10 things that you know about that person. What type of TV shows do they watch? What type of events do they go to, right? Where are they hanging out, right? What's the most popular trend on their, social media for that age group? All of these different things you can find out, because now you tailor all of your content to those areas because you need to know where they are, okay? That's how you target your person. Then once you get those 3 figured out, now we need to move on to how do they purchase from you? I don't know how many sales, right, are stopped at the transaction point. How does a person do business with you? How do they purchase? Do they call you? Do they text you? Do they DM you? Do they walk in? Do they book an appointment online? What happens if they call you? Do you have an automated response? Do they email you? Do they come in for a consultation? All of these different things, right? Depending on what business you're in and how you want to operate. For me, at first, it was call me or text me. I used to have a little appointment book I wrote names in. I even told them sometimes they could walk in, if they were in the area by the shop, and just write their name on an empty space in my book. And when I came in the next morning, I would see it. Now, obviously, we have technology and stuff now that people can just go online and book an appointment. But there are some booking apps that barbers like to use where they make you download the app, right? Most people don't want to download another app on their phone just to get a haircut, right? So that can be a deterrent, right? So you might need to do some market research. Some people just want to go to a website. Some people just want to call you and set up an appointment one time and get the same 10 o'clock every Friday. And if that's the case, you need to honor that. Those are some of your best paying people. But if you don't answer the phone because you want them to book online, now you're missing money every single week. So you want to identify your process, but you never want to put your process over the people. Remember, we're barbers, we serve people in the community. The more we focus on that, the better off we'll be, all right? So figure out how a person can do business with you. We call that purchase point. Now, number 5 is promise, right? This is the part you need to master, because if you can master the promise or the guarantee, that is what is ultimately gonna, throw gasoline on your fire and get people to really clicking that button. Now, what I did when I was a barber, I walked around and I told people, hey, I'll give you a free cut, or if you don't like it, you don't have to pay for it. That was my guarantee. That guarantee still lasts to this day. If a person comes in my shop and gets a haircut by me and they don't like it, like maybe I was talking or something and I just cut a person's sideburn off and they really wanted their sideburn. If they don't like it, the haircut is free. The other part that I did as far as my guarantee and my promise was I do haircuts in 30 minutes. So my guarantee was if you ain't in and out within an hour, it's free. Now here's the thing, right? I can still do a quality haircut in 30 minutes, but I gave myself 30 minutes of margin, and that guarantee helped the business professional because they only had 1 hour during lunch. So they were like, yo, if I book Stamm, I'm guaranteed to get in and out within an hour. I can get back without the boss being on my head, and I can still get something to eat, right? So that was a guarantee. Business people like that. They value their time. People who pay big money know time is their most valuable asset. So those guarantees were what I used to market on social media. And I guarantee you they'll still work to this day, but you gotta produce the result, because if not, you ain't gonna make no money, all right? And the last part is the promotion. How are you gonna promote? This goes back to your target audience. Where are your people hanging out? Where are they, right? So once you figure that out, your promotion material or your marketing material, your social media, videos that you create, they need to be targeted either through hashtags or DMing people in the specific niche of people that you want to service, right? The more focused and dialed in you get on your target person, you direct all of your energy to them, because that's ultimately who you want to serve. So those 6 P's and that framework is what I use to create all my content. I'll give you tons of examples if you just go to my page, right? So one of the things that I want you to do is go to my Pro Fresh Barber Academy Instagram, right? When I'm doing all of the stuff at the school, right? The first problem I identified was that schools were bad. All of my content on my page is me giving quality instruction on hair textures that people don't normally get. And they went viral, right? I also realized, I said, what do people hate about barber schools? Oh, the teachers are mean. If you go look at my content, all of the instruction I'm giving, people are like, oh, you're so patient, you're clear. I love how you encourage these students, because all I'm doing is addressing all of the pain points that I've heard over the years while working in other people's schools. I identified what the problem was: poor training, rude instructors, not teaching all textures. So I just started creating content, teaching all that stuff, teaching fundamentals, right, for beginners, and all of those pieces of content went viral. When I was building my barbershops, right, and I was getting clients, what I would do is I would take before and after pictures. That got me clients. I would create videos with the same framework. I'd identify a problem, right? Then I would come in, I'd have the person, I'd throw a transformation in, I'd throw a couple action shots, of me cutting, making the line up sharp, or cutting with some shears, because they're very satisfying to watch. But I'm solving problems, and I used to let them talk in the beginning in that video about the issues they had, and then I would showcase the whole video solving the issue that they were worried about, and then show the transformation at the end. That's just like a movie. You got the main character, right? They come in, they have this problem, they have this dilemma. You solve the dilemma, showing how you're solving the dilemma, and then you show them smiling at the end result. And that's all people want to see, man. They want to see a problem, they want to see it solved, and they want to see the happily ending ever after. And that's all they're looking for. If you can create content like that, you can attract clients and you can attract students, right, to your school. Because that's exactly what I do. And if you go look on my IG and my TikTok, that's all I'm doing. It's nothing else. I ain't got no expensive cameras. I ain't got none of that other stuff. All I'm doing is capturing authentic, day-to-day content that is solving pain points for people. That's it. Now, I know you got a lot out of that video, but all of that social media stuff means nothing if you don't have a vision for where you're going. So make sure you watch this next video.